If you're like me, you've probably met women at your work environments that you're attracted to. And you want to know, how do I approach, create attraction and tension with this girl, flirt, and go out with this girl without damaging the stability of my work environment and her work environment? Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you from my mistakes because I have dated two coworkers and they both ended horribly, and what I would do differently. Okay. So, for the first thing you need is the right mindset for this, and it's understanding two things. Number one, the same risks you have in dating anybody, being ghosted, being rejected, or whatever else, are going to be the same risks here. Just because she's your coworker doesn't mean she's not going to harshly reject you, or doesn't mean that she's not going to ghost you or treat you odd, treat you weirdly after you take a risk. And number two, the other thing you must recognize in this situation is that this is the riskiest place to date somebody because of the work reputation. Even approaching someone in the gym is risky, but it's not this risky. Approaching someone at school is risky, but it's not work level risky. This is the riskiest place. There's an HR department hovering over people for a reason. Now, hiding your relationship from your coworkers is impossible. It is. They're gonna know. They're not dumb. So your goal is not to hide it. Your goal is to not bring things that you would want to keep private or you would not want your manager to know into work. So any kind of flirtation that you wouldn't want your manager to see you doing to your coworker, don't bring it to work. At work, you have to be two normal people. This is the first dynamic you must create with the girl. You must create not attraction, but familiarity and comfort. So essentially, this is going up to the girl and just having a normal conversation that you would with a coworker. And then occasionally you bring in conversational topics that are slightly more personal. You would do this with any other coworker. You would ask a normal coworker, "How was your weekend?" That's not weird. They're not like, "Are you trying to date me?" Right? So you do the same thing with her. How was your weekend? What are you up to on the weekends? What do you do? What kind of shit are you into, or whatever conversational topics you're going to have that you would have with anybody else. You don't show her personal attention. You don't try to like corner her and just have a private conversation with her during work hours. You don't try to do any of that. You just build familiarity like you would with any other coworker. You're essentially creating not a friend zone, but a coworker colleague zone, right? You're not necessarily best friends with everyone you work with. So you're not being friend zoned by not building attraction here. You're just being smart by not building attraction immediately. Once you've created familiarity, and I would say that's going to be like 5 to 8 conversations that are work related and a little bit personal, and they're short and they're not too crazy, then here's your best move for now transitioning that. The best possible case scenario, which may not always be feasible, so I'll give you another one, is that you have a group thing going on between coworkers, like a office party, or you and some other people are going to go grab drinks and you invite her. Okay, something group related, something that's easy for her to say yes to. That is the best possible case scenario. Now, that may not always be feasible. If you can, I would build comfort and familiarity with a lot of people at work and then invite some of those people out to grab a drink or to go do whatever. Something that's a light activity where you guys can just chat. Okay. If that's not possible, with this girl specifically, you want to invite her out to something that's very casual and calm as well. Ideally, it's something like, let's go grab a drink across the street after you've had a lot of familiarity built up. Now, you don't make it a big deal. You say, "Hey, I'm going to go grab a drink at blank bar across the street. Do you want to come?" And that's it. And if she says no, you still go get the drink. You still go do your thing. Like, it's not I'm only going to go if you go. That's a date, right? "Hey, let's go do this thing. I'm only going to go if you go." That's a date. But if you are going to do something that is easy to invite someone to, and you aren't going to create a group environment because you don't know anybody or the dynamic of your office, then just invite her to do that thing. If she's already familiar and comfortable with you, saying yes to grabbing a drink is easy for a coworker to do. It's not a big deal. You didn't ask her to marry you. You didn't ask her on a date. You didn't make a big deal of it. So she's not going to freak out and think that this is something really serious and need to protect herself and protect her work stability, right? She's likely to say yes. Then on that date, that's when you start to show a little bit of attraction. That's when you start to do a little bit of flirting and teasing and vibing. And now, if you don't really know how to do that and you don't have any other options, because this is a big point I want to make. If you have no other options in your dating life and you're putting all your eggs into the basket of your coworker and praying that she says yes and goes out with you and that nothing goes wrong, you're taking a massive risk. You're essentially taking all of your life savings and dumping it into one crypto coin and hoping that things go well. You're probably going to get scammed, bro. So essentially, what you need to do is have other options. And if you don't have other options or you don't know how to build attraction with women effectively and go on dates, I have a 1 hour free training link in the description that will definitely help you create some momentum in that direction. And if you want deeper help with this, you can book a call to meet with me to and if you want deeper help on this, you can click the link. And if you want deeper help on this, there's another link to schedule a call to see if you can work one-on-one with me where I could help you with that. But if you have other options, that is a very ideal situation. So if things go wrong, you're not constantly thinking about her, your only option that fell through. No, you've got other girls, so it's not a big deal. She probably has other guys that she's talking to outside of work anyway, if she's attractive, right? So odds are that she's not going to make a big deal out of it if things don't work out. Because the odds that you go out with her, you start texting her, and you get ghosted are the same odds that if it was some random girl. You have to assume that these things are still going to happen, as I said earlier in the video, or that you go on one date and it doesn't go to a second date. So now you get rejected and now things don't move forward. And now you have to go to work and see her, which brings me to the final piece I want to articulate, which is a strategy for if things go wrong, what do you do? That's what you need, a safety net, so that you know you can bring work back up to stability and keep things stable for yourself. This is about your own money, protecting your own money, right? Not shitting where you eat, eating where you shit, something like that. Here's what you do. First off, you need to know that with the girl, we can't control what she's going to do. Okay. If she is going to get rejected by you or sleep with you and then you decide you don't want to date her, or she even ghosts you and then she comes to work with weird energy that she didn't have before you guys were talking, we can't control that. We don't know how she's going to interact. Okay. So we have to assume that you're taking on that risk that this girl is going to make your work environment weird on her own. And if you're comfortable with that risk, now here's what you can do to protect yourself. First is ambiguity creates drama. So you want to remove ambiguity. The moment that you feel this isn't what I want, you have to directly communicate that outside of work. Okay, over text, phone call, audio message, in person, after the sex, after the first date, on the second date, I don't know. Whenever you want to communicate that, communicate it, but do it outside of work. Do not let it come into work. That's how you poison the work environment. That's number one. Once there's no ambiguity, it's less likely to lead to drama. And the second thing is you have to treat her like you would a coworker, which means saying hi to her. You say hi to your other coworkers, man. So say hi to her as well. Have the 30, 60-second interactions that you would have had. Okay. Just keep it coworker level. There's no flirting. There's no vibing. There's no talking about her, deep life topics or deeply connecting or cornering her or having these private conversations at work. It's just the same light interactions that you would have with anybody else. If you can think to yourself, a manager sees this and thinks it's totally normal, then it's good. If a manager saw this interaction and saw it as a red flag, then it's a red flag for you to be having that interaction with this girl at work. It should be something that you have outside of work if you still need to address something because things are deeper than just having sex the first time or going on a first date. But don't poison work. It's not about not poisoning work with not having any interactions with her at all. That's actually how you poison work. It's not poisoning work by not treating her different than you would anybody else. I talked to some of my coworkers and asked them about vacations they're going on and what they did with their husband and how their kids are and things like that. And that's normal. So I would ask her the same things. I would ask her about her life and how her brother is and whatever else she's got going on in her life, just to keep this like coworker energy. It's not to bring her any closer than I would anyone else, it's to keep her at the same distance as everybody else. And it goes for the same if she rejects you, you reject her, or things go very well. The way you interact at work is the same across the board. It's all weird, personal, super intimate interactions that we wouldn't want our manager to see stay outside of work. And inside of work, we are coworkers, and that's the interactions that we have. And if you can maintain that, first off, it shows a level of maturity that a lot of people can't have. But it also shows a level of self-control that is impressive. And so I recommend that if you are in a position where if this doesn't go well, you have a plan B. You're good. You're not going to put all your eggs in this basket. Try out the strategy and go on the date. Ask the girl out. When you're on that first engagement, when you're out at the bar for the first time, that's when you start to escalate slowly and build it to what could be a first real date. And then once you're in those interactions, just keep things that are non-coworker level outside of work, and anything coworker level inside of work, and maintain that. And that's how you'll keep the peace. That's how you keep the stability in the environment. If at any point it feels like the fire is going to explode, cut things off. Protect your work. Okay? But I don't want you to use work as an excuse to not go for a girl that you're interested in. That's also bullshit. That's an excuse that's going to keep you single and keep you lonely. If you don't have the dating life that you want and you want some help from someone who has made every mistake in the book, you can click the link below to apply to work with me one-on-one. Or I have this free 1-hour training that's a great place to get started, where I give you all the information you need to start building attraction with women today. That link is also in the description. Guys, click those links. And otherwise, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.